Well, it's our first show of the week, which means it's time for our weekend box office report, brought to you by AMC Theaters. Star Wars The Force Awakens was finally knocked out of the top spot, and it was supplanted by the Kevin Hart Ice Cube comedy Ride Along, taking in $35.3 million at the top spot. Number 2 was The Revenant with a strong $31.8 million, ahead of number 3 Star Wars The Force Awakens, which earned $26.3 million. Number 4 is the new Michael Bay movie 13 Hours, and number 5 is the Will Ferrell, Mark Wahlberg, yuk-fest, Daddy's Home, barely beating out Norm of the North. Mark, what stands out to you about this weekend's box office?
I'm glad you got that joke in the show notes. And
are you laughing at your own joke right now?
I've been laughing at bear jokes all the long weekend. And by the way, these are the numbers that are just Friday through Sunday. We didn't include the long weekend, but if you do include Monday, the box office rankings stay the same. And I think we all saw the writing on the wall. It doesn't look great on paper to see that Ride Along 2 defeated Star Wars The Force Awakens and upended its run at number 1, but it's going to happen to every movie sooner or later. I didn't love Ride Along 2. I thought it was pretty bad, but I was happy to see The Revenant hold as strongly as it did in its second week, and I think that's probably an indication that the Oscar nominations just came out. So you also saw movies like Spotlight and Carol do better than they had the previous week. They actually saw an up in their percentage. The Forest is also something that dropped out of the top 5, but it's already made back double what its budget is, so you got to think that people who make a small horror movie just trying to scare people would be pretty thrilled about that. As far as Star Wars goes, it doesn't look like it has any shot at catching Avatar now. It might still have a prayer in hell as far as getting to Titanic numbers. Dennis, how did you see these results playing out?
Actually, they underperformed considering what I thought. I thought Ride Along was going to get closer to like high 30s, low 40s, just how well, not based on the quality of the movie. We just saw the movie, we didn't really care for it. But I just thought the two names and how the success of the first one, it would have gone higher. Revenant I also thought was going to be like mid 30s. I wrongly predicted that 13 Hours was gonna beat Star Wars. I thought maybe that American Sniper crowd was gonna see it, but apparently not. Yeah, Star Wars. It's not gonna catch Avatar. It's pretty much impossible at this point for the way it's going. And then the Red Daddy's Home, and it's just chugging along.
And you brought up our predictions on Friday, and so I believe Perry Nemiroff, who was in studio last week, is the one that got it right, because I had everything right until we got to the Bear movie versus Daddy's Home, and I just didn't think that those two comedies, that and Ride Along 2, would be able to match wit, so I thought the Polar Bear movie would move into the top spot, but we missed out on that. Schnepp, how'd you do?
Yeah, I already started working on my script, The Forests, because I'm all about those trees, making those trees happen, son. Yeah, you know what? The Revenant, I'm glad that a lot of people are going to see that, and I think people should go see The Hateful Eight. I think everyone forgot about the other snowbound Western. And don't forget, just because it says 70 millimeter, that's a term for film, kids. Don't be afraid of it. It's film. So go see that movie is all I could say. I think the top 5, it's great. I'm glad that Ride Along 2, you guys loved it, right? Ride Along 2?
Oh, loved it.
I heard about
not
how much
stop
you
not
raving.
laughing.
I go raving like lunatics about how amazing it was. I haven't seen it yet. But
well, let me ask you this about the Hateful Eight, because do you think the 70 millimeter and all the stuff that they were putting out ahead of the movie actually being released, do you think that turned some audience members off? I mean, like Hateful Eight, it's already made back its budget, so it's done well. I think people who see it, it doesn't seem to have quite gotten the critical response that Tarantino hoped it would, at least according to Rotten Tomatoes and other sources like that, but people seem to generally enjoy the movie. It just isn't doing that well at the box office for whatever reason.
That's why I brought it up. I think that the ad campaign for see it in 70 millimeter actually pushed people away, because it might have not been playing in 70 millimeter in certain places that it opened, and I think that put a barrier for people like, oh, I can't see it in 70 millimeter, so I'll go see this other movie. You're missing out by not seeing The Hateful Eight. I think it's an incredible Western. It's an amazing film. It's so much fun. So if you've seen The Revenant now, go see that other snowy Western, and it's amazing Tarantino dialogue. So I'm surprised at why people just, I think that's just that barrier. It feels like that way to me. So.
Well, I mean, I like The Hateful Eight, but I didn't love it. I like Django a lot more. So I kind of see that it's not, that word of mouth isn't spreading around for Hateful Eight like Django was, and I feel like that hurt it. And then also not getting any Oscar nominations didn't help it either. So I think it's a combination of stuff. The way that it was marketed, the 70 millimeter, I also don't think helped either, because it's like people are like, oh, do I have to see it in that, or do I not? And I think that kind of Tarantino shot himself in the leg with that one.
I know, but I have to say it is a dark comedy. It's an exploitation film that's done the right way, and some people just, I think it's like it's a deterrent when some people don't understand why it's 3 hours. You just got to enjoy it. And I think it's a great cinematic experience.
And we'll get into what's coming out in theaters this weekend a little bit later in the show. But for right now, The Revenant had a pretty strong second weekend wide release. Do you guys see any chance that this could be? It's not going to do the numbers that American Sniper did last year when it just kept making money.
Right.
We couldn't understand how many people kept going to see this movie. But it looks like it's going to have a pretty strong hold till Oscars.
Yeah, I think so. And then if it does win, let's say, Best Picture, then you're going to see another push. I mean, we saw even Birdman was a much smaller film, and it didn't have like Michael Keaton. I love Michael Keaton, but he's not Leonardo DiCaprio when it comes to box office draw. So something like The Revenant winning, I think it would help it even more so.
The Revenant does not have a snowball's chance in hell of winning the Oscar.
Best Picture?
No way.
No,
I don't know about that.
I think you're wrong about that.
It's not even in the league of the top 10 best pictures. That's my opinion. I think Leo will win the Oscar as best performance. He did an incredible performance in what I personally feel is after the first 30 minutes, subpar film. Like after the bear attack, you guys all know, you've seen the trailer, there's a bear that attacks Leo, and that's incredible. Everything about that, the opening sequence of the Indians is incredible. Everything else to me,
I loved it. I loved
polar
it.
bear?
And also the two front runners are Spotlight and The Revenant. So it winning it's not a snowball's chance in hell.
I don't think it'll win.
I mean, a snowball in hell is so rare, John, that I think you
know.
have to give it to The Revenant with more of a shot. But you're right. I think Spotlight personally is going to take the Oscar.
Yeah.
And this weekend at the box office, I was also happy to see 13 Hours didn't do that strongly, but I'm glad some people went to see it, and I hope it holds up from week to week because it's a phenomenal movie, and I can't believe I'm saying that because it's directed by Michael Bay.